everybody, and welcome to another video. It's an early one. So yeah, late last night we got a couple of leaks, and it appears that Cities of Sigmar for Age of Sigmar have leaked. So let's jump in and have a look at it, and pull this apart and see if it is actually legit. Okay, so late last night, one, it popped up in a local Discord of mine, and then when I checked my DMs in Discord, there was the actual photo as well. And this appears to be the contents page for the new 4th edition Battletome for Cities of Sigmar. And it's got some surprisingly interesting things in there. One of the things I will like to say straight away, that if this is fake and not legit in any way, which there is a chance that it is fake, this is probably one of the best, most elaborate fakes for a rumour leak that I have ever seen. So I'm going to put it up on the screen. We're going to have a little talk about it. We're going to go through it stage by stage, but bear that in mind that this could be a fake, and if it is a fake, this is brilliant. Like, this is next level fakery. It doesn't appear to be photoshopped in any way, so if it is a fake, they've created it, printed it, and then taken the grainy ass photo, which is dedication on a next level. So if it is fake, hats off to the person who did this. Really well done. If it isn't, then Cities of Sigmar players are in for a pretty exciting time. So I've got my brew. It's like 7:20 in the morning. Let's jump into this. So this is it here, right? This is the photo in question. It is the contents page for the new Cities of Sigmar Battletome. This is very sort of unscripted. I've literally only just got up. So we're gonna have a little look at this. Now, first things first, Cities of Sigmar, as far as I'm aware, wasn't on the horizon for the releases of any time soon. It seemed to be Deepkin and Nighthaunt were the two books next on the horizon. Now, we did have a number of books that were sort of kind of teased. One of them was definitely Blades of Khorne. The other one was definitely Kharadron Overlords. The other one was a wing, which was probably Nighthaunt, and I believe there was a fourth one, which could have well be this. Now, obviously, this is in the wild, or this is out there somewhere, and if this is legit, then it is probably coming very, very soon. But let's have a little look at it straight away. Let's zoom in a little bit. So one of the things that we're going to look at it straight away is, one, you can kind of, it's pretty blurry, but you've got all your lore and everything else down the left hand side, and there is you will already notice that the War Scrolls, there is at least 90, from page 80 to 124, so that's like at least 24 pages of scrolls straight away off the bat. Spearhead, Path to Glory, rules of renown, and rules references. Now, it's kind of laid out exactly how 4th edition books are laid out, so straight away, like, let's look at that. So, first things first, for the War Scrolls, there are some pretty interesting things here. One of the things that stands out to me straight away is the fact that the Dark Elf element of the army has completely gone. There are a few mentions of Dwarven units, but we'll get to them in a second. But the vast majority of the Dwarven element is also gone. So what I mean by that is the fantasy range, the Warhammer Fantasy miniatures for the Dark Elves and the Dwarfs. Obviously, the Dwarf bulk of that range would have probably gone back to the Old World, which we already know they're out and about, but there's no sign of any of the Dark Elf stuff. Interesting, very interesting. Pretty sure we could probably make an entire video just talking about that little piece there of what that could mean for that entire Dark Elf range. Are they coming back to the Old World? Who knows? Let the Old World content creators jump on that one. So yeah, they're not there. Now, there are some parts to it. They're up here. We have the Disposed Throne King, we have the Disposed Wardens, and the Disposed Drake Gunners. Now, they are probably the old fantasy king model. The Wardens, I'm not too sure what that could be. Could it be warriors or longbeards or something along those lines? And the Drake Gunners, I'm instantly thinking of the Iron Drakes for the kit. But that's a dual kit, so that's not including the Iron Breakers. The Wardens could well be the Hammerers slash Longbeards kits. So, which is a strange one because they've just gone over to the old world. So we'll get into that. So straight away, Talia is there at the top. Then we have what appears to be a new named character, Ironbrow. This definitely seems to be an named character because there is a regiment of renowned for him later on. There's Ironbrow's Steel Helm's Army of Renowned as well, which is pretty cool. So there's been a bit of a discussion about this guy that he sounds very dwarven. I'm thinking more of the Empire-esque type general on foot type stuff, maybe. But sounds either way, he has a regiment and he seems to be something to do with the Steel Helms, which is kind of interesting. Then there's Pontifex, which she's already there. There's the Realm Cleaner Acolytes, or whatever this is. Realm something Acolytes. Now, I'm not overly too sure what that is. There's the Devoted Pontiff, which kind of makes me think that Zenesta is getting more of the religious element to the army. So it kind of sounds like sort of like priests, stuff like that for them. There's the Storm Seeker Retinue. Interesting. Now, there is something up here, the Avatar of the Anvil God. I do think that the Hollowheart Flexblade, the Mind Stone Palisade, and the Avatar of the Thunder God is probably going to be the endless spells for the army. So maybe this Stormseeker retinue is some sort of wizard type retinue of something. Then there's obviously the Free Guild Marshal with the Relic Envoy, which is a current model already out. There's the Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, which again is a model that is already out. We have the Alchemist Warforger, the very much problematic 3rd edition miniature, which was nerfed to Oblivion. I'd be interested to see what they actually do with this model, because they kind of screwed him up by removing his mortal wound sort of spell. So I'm fully expecting him to get a complete rewrite, to be fair. Then we have what appears to be a new unit, the Botanit Wayfinder. Again, that may not be what that is, but it's definitely something to do with a Wayfinder. That seems to be some sort of scout element. I've got a feeling that that Wayfinder model will have something to do with the Wild Corpse Hunters. Then we have the Warhammer Fantasy Returning Miniatures, which is the Battle Mage on Celestial Hurricanum, and the Celestial Hurricanum itself, and then the Battle Mage on the Luminarch of Heesh, and then the Luminarch of Heesh. This is all from one kit. It is the old Celestial Hurricanum model that the Empire had from Fantasy and the old Cities of Sigmar armies had. Again, that model isn't in the Empire list in the old world because the Colleges of Magic haven't been formed yet in the old world, so it doesn't really have a place in the old world. One of the things as well that you will also notice that the steam tank in this list is also missing. As well, the big giant chicken, which is such a shame. The battle chicken, the Imperial Griffin, has also gone. So that's interesting. Then we get to the Free Guild element. So we've got the Free Guild Command Corps, which again is a current unit. The Free Guild Steel Helms, again a current unit. The Free Guild Cavaliers, again a current unit. Then we get something new, the Free Guild Dragoons. Now, that sounds awesome. What are the Free Guild Dragoons? Now, there is an Army of Renowned just over to the right, and you can see that it says the Free Guild Knightly Orders. I have a feeling that these are going to be more of a knightly unit that are mounted, and I'm probably going to guess that they're probably going to be pretty big, and there's probably going to be a unit of 3 of them. I don't know that if that's true, but this is my speculation. I should really do some tinfoil on my hat and on my head at this point. But I'm thinking that these are probably going to be more elite knightly cavalry, unlike the Cavaliers. And I think they're going to be a little bit bigger, a little bit nastier, a little bit harder hitting, and probably a box of 3 models. So there's the Free Guild Fusiliers. They're already there. And then we have another new unit, the Free Guild Knight Champions. This is something that kind of excites me straight away, because if you watch some of my older videos when I talk about the Cities of Sigmar at the start of 4th edition, and we talk about the sort of, when in the faction focus, I talk about how cool it would be that if we had a unit of Arc Knights on foot. The Arc Knight being the big sort of heavily armoured guy with the big axe from the Command Corps. I'm hoping that this is a unit of 5 of heavily armoured infantry, big ass knights with big swords, big axes, and just being generally big and nasty and amazing looking. That would be really, really amazing. But it seems to be that they're there. Then we've got the Wild Corps Hunters, which are the Warcry Warband. And then we have more. There is more. There's the returning Ogre Warhulk, which is cool. Then we have a couple of new units. There's the Bombardier Major, which I'm thinking is going to be a artillery type officer. There's the Ironworld Great Cannon, which is a returning model. There's the Ironworld Cogsmith, which I think is probably going to be either a new miniature or it's the old dwarf engineer Cogsmith model. Then there's the Ironworld Outrider Cog Fort. Now, and then there's the Ironworld Expedition Cog Fort. Now, I googled Age of Sigmar Cog Fort. Now, what I'll do is, in editing, in Magic Editing, I'm going to have a picture up there of this thing. Now, it kind of looks like a steam tank on legs. Now, this apparently is legit artwork. And this is apparently what this is. I didn't know what a Cog Fort was. I thought it was a piece of terrain at first, and then I sort of googled Age of Sigmar Cog Fort, and this is the artwork that popped up. So yeah, really, really cool. This seems to be the replacement for the steam tank, which is pretty cool. Either way, that is pretty impressive. If this is legit and that is what the model is going to look like, oh my god, it's going to be amazing. Then obviously we have the 3 dwarfs, and then we've got the returning sort of Inquisitor, Witch Hunter types element. So we've got Callus and Toll's retinue, Deloria Van Denst and her dad. And then we have what I think is the 3 endless spells, the Hallowheart Fellblade, the Palisade, and the Avatar of the Thunder God. And then we have the Castellan Island Fort, which I believe is going to be the army's terrain piece. Now, straight away, we also have the Spearhead rules. So it seems to be the Fusilier Blade Platoon, which sounds like it's going to be a new Spearhead. It's probably going to be turning up, which is kind of interesting. There's painting and getting your battle army ready, your Spearhead army rules. Then we have the Path to Glory, which is Anvil Apotheosis, Path of the Marshal, and Path of the Cogwork. So maybe this Cogsmith model is actually a new model, because there seems to be some form of narrative arc for the Cogwork, the Cogsmith, in the Path to Glory element. Then we have a couple of armies of renown. We have Pontifex's Faithful, which kind of ties in really interestingly into this Stormseeker retinue and the Devoted Pontiff type stuff, as well as the Acolytes, kind of sort of new units around the sort of religious element of the army, and Zanesta. We have the Elite of the Lioness, which obviously is Talia, and an elite element of the Cities of Sigmar army are built around her. There's the Iron Bruise Steel Helm. Again, this is like a regiment of renown built around this new, what appears to be a new character. And then we have the Free Guild Knightly Orders, which I'm instantly thinking is going to be the Dragoons and the Knight Champions. Not too sure who would probably lead them. Maybe a Cavalier Marshal. Unless there is another sort of sort of knight hero amongst there that we haven't worked out. And then we've got the army reference. So all in all, that's it. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Like, if this is legit, that's a huge second wave that Cities of Sigmar are getting here. The dwarfs, the dark elves are completely gone. There's no reference of anything. You're looking at a piece of terrain, endless spells, a new war machine, a new sort of character for that element. There's a box of knights. So let's just count off the top of our head. We've got the Cogsmith, the Cog Fort, the box of endless spells, the terrain piece. There's the Wayfinder, at least 2 units for the Acolyte, the characters, which is at least 2, and then there's at least 10, maybe 11 new units here in boxes. There's maybe more, but one of them is probably going to be a dual kit. Now, that's a substantial second wave release. Like, that's impressive. That's on par with what the Lumineth Realm Lords got. Which is pretty cool. So, but there's no Dark Elves. There's no element of the Dark Elves here at all. There are 3 Dwarven units, which is interesting. I'm going to say straight away that they're the fantasy models, that they're not somehow new Dwarven units. I'm going to say that the King, the Wardens, and the Drake Gunners are literally the dwarfs from the old world. And I'm probably going to say that the Drakes are basically the Iron Drakes, the Gunners, and the Wardens are probably going to be the Hammerer kit, which is an interesting option choice that Games Workshop have done. They've removed everything Dark Elf. The Celestial Huracanum and everything else is still there. The Imperial Griffin, which we did say was probably going to be removed, and the what's it called? The steam tank is also gone, which I'm kind of glad that I didn't stick with the army and go and get my 3 chickens, because I wanted to run at least 3 hippogriffs, big Imperial Griffins, and I would be very sad-faced now if my big giant flock of giant battle chickens had been discontinued. Sad times. But yeah, this definitely seems to be, if this is legit, now bear in mind obviously it may not be, it definitely seems to be a substantial army now of entirely Age of Sigmar, or the vast majority of Age of Sigmar units, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, that is exciting times for Cities of Sigmar players. It's definitely piqued my interest. I'm really intrigued for Adepticon next week. Are we possibly going to see this? Maybe, maybe not. I can't remember when cities were mentioned on the roadmap for this year. So this is a pretty interesting leak if it is. Again, I don't think we're going to be seeing them anytime soon. This is just an interesting leak. So if you are a Cities of Sigmar player and you firmly believe that this is what's happening, then you are in for an amazing ride, and you are probably going to get some pretty impressive new kits. If you're not, and you maybe want to get into them now, I'm definitely intrigued about them. So yeah, very excited. But that's the video, everybody. I hope you enjoy it. I thought I'd just make a quick video on this one and pull this apart, because it did sort of hit my inbox late last night. But that's the video. Like, subscribe, share, do all of that stuff, and I will catch you in the next video. Goodbye for